Good morning. Happy Sunday. Unfortunately, we're not doing the Rethink Actions today, and we're just doing the Sunday football review because Wilbur and I are going to be suffering in the Factory of Sadness downtown. So we can't do it live. We're going to be at least watching Chubb's debut, so there's something exciting there. But kicking off your Sunday, I hope you're ready to tinker with your fantasy team and talk a little sports as we prepare for a long, fun day of football. That being said, some big breaking news kicking off this week. So there's some big trades.
Yeah, it's been week 6, and you're starting to see the fire sale on a couple teams. A couple acquisitions, like, the Bills went out and got Amari Cooper, and Devontae Adams is magically healed the instant he gets traded to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, magic.
Electric news for whoever has him on fantasy.
It's true.
Which I know you don't.
Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about fantasy, and I appreciate your class not having to rub it in my face either.
I'm just saying. It was a rough week last week for you.
See, like
it was
I
like
said,
3 o'clock in the afternoon. I texted you GGs. I was like, good game. Better luck
Truth
next
is,
week.
Will's got a lot more class because if I won, there'd be a lot more nose rubbing in here. But Will's leaving it be.
I've been there, done that. I'm making a push. I'm getting promoted. You're staying down. You're staying.
We have a
way down.
20-person league where there's the 10 in the winners league and the 10 in the losers league, and there's 3 that switch in between. So Will's trying to get out of the losers league. I am deeply entrenched in the losers league, and Doug over there is the winners league.
Doug, how is your league going? We don't get to see. That is a shame.
I know. That's what I was telling Alex. I wish we could add a view manager option. Like you could add someone to be able to view your league. Like that'd be a cool feature. Yeah. But no one's undefeated in our league. There is a person I think that's 5-1, but we have no one that's undefeated.
And Brock's dominating, I think, in their league. But
that's what it is. Brock's dominating.
No, it's 6 weeks into fantasy. You start to see the fire sales too. I've been seeing so many trades now. Like in my other league, someone literally was like, my team is open for whatever. Something needs to change. And that was my team because I'm 1-5.
Well, what's funny is how many people keep coming to me because I'm 1-5, and they go, come on, clear it out. You're just sitting on some gold. It's like, no,
honestly,
I'm going to watch you squirm.
You are sitting on some gold, and you definitely offered me some of it, and I said no to it.
The funniest, we were actually laughing about it last night. As a joke, week 1, I pick Baker Mayfield up off the waiver wire. I send to Will the offer for Christian McCaffrey. He scoffs at it. And man, with the perspective of time, that would have been the greatest trade for Will ever.
I spit on that trade too. It was funny. I was like, you bastard. I know what you're doing here. And at the time, man, they really screwed me with the McCaffrey thing. I've bounced back, but I drafted him first in 2 leagues. Other league, disaster. Your league, good. I feel real good.
So, bringing it back to the trades.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper, I hope we see that the dude does have stone hands, and now once he actually gets a bunch of good passes, he still also drops them, because there were some pearls come from Deshaun that he did drop. There were a couple.
Yeah, all 5 pearls he's thrown all year were dropped.
But that's 0 for 5. That's 0 for 5. So he's going to have significantly higher opportunity.
Oh yes, like I said, teams are selling off stock and teams are buying it up.
What do you think this means for Devontae Adams?
I don't know. It's just the Jets. It's like the Jets have a stigma around them. Rodgers hasn't quite panned out like Rodgers used to be. He's getting older. But it's Devontae Adams. It's just hysterical. He's healthy. He hasn't played the last 3 weeks. I think other guys have kind of like that too. I think Max Crosby. He keeps saying oh, I don't want to be traded. I don't want to start a rebuild. And it's I think that's code for get me the hell out of here.
Doug, what are you thinking?
Oh, my camera's all small.
Hold on. Wait.
Dude, we're falling apart.
God damn it! I knocked the other one over of confetti. No.
I think we're hungover.
God fuck.
I'm hungover.
There we go.
Look at Doug.
So I think Devontae Adams is actually going to do pretty well because his best performance as an NFL player was with Aaron Rodgers. So he is now reunited with Aaron Rodgers. They might be able to rekindle that chemistry. So I think he's going to have a chance to break out again there.
And here's what's crazy. I'm watching Aaron Rodgers play. You could see atrophy in this dude's leg. Like he doesn't have full mobility. He's definitely trying to like baby it a little bit. But man, you're looking at an elite a handicapped elite athlete.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this guy still is better than Deshaun Watson, and he is not at full capacity.
Well, I don't think Deshaun's at full capacity either.
What's holding him back, do you think? He seems like a pretty physical able boy to me.
I forget who it was. I think it was like Warren Moon. He like 2-3 weeks ago, he did like an article and someone asked him about Deshaun Watson, and he was like, "Yeah, I think he's just lost his confidence. I think some of it attributes to what happened off the field." I was like, "Oh, you fucking think? Like, really? You think that?" Like I was like, "Genius. Thank you. Ask him another question."
Yeah, we are.
No disrespect. That guy is a legend. That guy was a legend of the game. Deshaun is not, but like I was like, obviously.
We're still in such a sticky wicket, let me tell you.
Well, all I could say is we're not doing any midseason acquisitions. We are stockpiling for what could be a number 1 draft pick.
I
it is way too early to talk.
The episodes leading into this, I've said I don't want to see Nick Chubb play. Now that he's playing, I see, you can't hold back a competitor, but even more so, let this guy have an ability to show that he still has the thing that made him so great, so he can go sell himself somewhere else. At this point, a lot of these people, it's you've paid your dues. No, really, it's just Nick Chubb. The rest of you suffer with us, damn it. Like, you show me, I don't want to walk down that road, but there's some parts with like the falling out between Miles and Baker where it's like, yeah, no, I felt bad for Miles episodes leading up to this. Now it's like, nah, you kind of made this bed too. Yeah. So we're all kind of here and we're all kind of stuck here. Are you with us? Are you a ride or die or not? That's its own thing because we're all here to die because the Browns suck. Back to football. Another fun thing that happened this week is the Lions' huge win over the Cowboys ends with the final score that's never been seen before in NFL history. So again, records being broken.
What was the score?
47-9.
Oh yeah, that was an ass kicking. Dallas, what are you doing this year, bro?
So one of the biggest wins of week 6 came from the Detroit Lions, who absolutely blew out the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. During the final minutes of the fourth quarter, the only drama revolved around whether the two teams were going to make NFL history. With 8 minutes left to play, the Lions were leading 47-9, but the Cowboys were on the cusp of scoring. With Cooper Rush at quarterback, the Cowboys drove down to Detroit's 5-yard line, but they didn't score any points because Rush ended up throwing an interception. The fact that the Cowboys came up empty was notable because it meant that we got a Scorigami.
Yeah, I've seen it.
The 47-9 final score marked the first time in NFL history that a game had ever ended with that exact score.
Yeah. Yeah, they call it a Scorigami. There's a Twitter account too. Like if you follow it, and like it has like it'll post like updates that happen like in I don't know if it's just NFL, but like it's pretty cool and it's rare.
So yeah, I have the tweet here. Well, we're not gonna have the time to be able to share it, but Scorigami tweeted that's Scorigami 47-9 Detroit Dallas. It's the 100 or 1087th unique final score in NFL history.
Whoa.
What's that? Why?
Cool.
Like, right? Like, why am I supposed to be excited about the 1087th score when it was 47-9? Like they got walloped. There's literally nothing notable from this.
Well, it's a unique wallop. That's what it says.
It's a unique wallop.
That's
Scorigami.
Just say it to the losing team. Oh,
yeah. That made this no better.
Oh, fuck you. Okay.
All right. So let's see. We last week we won our DraftKings pick.
We
did a parlay. Each week we do a parlay. We'll get to that big reveal on what we're going to do this week because we're on a roll, baby. And we suggest you get on the train because it's a money-making train. But first, let's review the scores of last week. Hey, quit your laughing at my expense.
No, We're riding the money train. I could buy a burrito.
Reviewing power rankings across the different companies. We're going to look at the top 10 teams across a few different platforms, starting with USA Today. They have Kansas City as number 1, followed up by the Ravens. The Vikings, I would have, they're a strong team, man. That's why I'm surprised they're as low as they are. Like, come on now. The Lions right up there behind them. The Falcons surprising everybody. I think, they're only above the Buccaneers because they squeaked out a win by just a few points. The Packers, you've been downplaying the Packers this whole season, and look at how they're surprisingly coming in to dominate.
Yeah, Jordan Love has come back, and he's really played well. He's had 2 good weeks. I am in one of my fantasy leagues. He did really well.
But the one that, imagine being on the Browns in the bottom 10, and then just one day they go, hey, here's a plane ticket. You have to go move, and you will be in New York, and you'll be number 9. And you get to be Amari Cooper and walk right to the Buffalo Bills. I mean, what a life. And you got to hand it to the Commanders. I mean, to even be a part of the conversation, and they're no team to walk over. And that was a team we competed with. We should have won.
No, we got handled by them. Handled. We got it. That was just a wallop. That wasn't a unique wallop, but that was a wallop.
NFL.com says that the Vikings are number 1. That I can more agree with. I think they could beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs, again, they keep coming out victorious, and that's the name of the game.
Every list, if they're not 1 or 2, it's an invalid list, in my opinion.
Really?
Yes. The Chiefs are 1 or 2.
Well, yeah, I agree, but I don't think they're 1. I think or 2.
They're one or the other. Like, it's not a coin flip for those 2 teams. I'd give them at the point. But, like, if someone were to have them, like, 3 or 4, it'd be, like, invalid list.
What's interesting about NFL.com is they're including the Steelers up here. Texans are much higher than I would have thought, too.
The Steelers are doing the quarterback change this weekend. Justin Fields handled that like a consummate professional. And 2, I don't agree with the move. I would be going, like, I think Justin Fields, younger, gives you a bit more. They almost guaranteed now, like, once Russell Wilson played, I'm like, oh, you're going to go 9-8.
Right.
How are the Browns not on a single list?
What does ESPN say? I'm surprised ESPN's the only one that has the 49ers on this list. But,
yeah, Jesus.
Right?
Yeah, now they bring it. Yeah. Like, that is a solid list, though. Those are the hottest teams in the league. I think that's the best list we've seen. I
would agree with you totally. This is the most realistic, but again, I would probably put the Vikings above the Chiefs. That was the only thing I would probably switch. So what are we losing up here? We don't have the Falcons. The
Falcons were incredibly high on
That's what I'm saying. Like, wow. Bleacher Report's got the Falcons up here. I'm coming back to, how do you have some of these teams on here without the 49ers?
Teams, a lot of NFC teams on these lists.
But no 49ers.
Yeah, honestly, no. Like, there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the top 10 on that list are NFC teams, and none of them are the 49ers. That is crazy.
That's crazy. I think that's all of them. Yeah, so interesting power rankings going into this season. Keep that in mind as we prepare for.
I am so shocked that the NFL really doesn't have like an AP top poll. And actually, like college every week, like, immediately who jumps or drops. But
right.
Like in the NFL, like, they've never done that, which I don't know why. I don't know why they would either. Like, who cares? But like, still, like, I want to see us at 30.
I don't.
What do you mean? We got the number 1 pick.
At least we're not 32.
Hey, number 1 pick, Shedeur Sanders coming to Cleveland.
Hey. All right, let's check out last week. The Bears, they did a little bit better than
that finish while we were here.
Right. And truthfully, I would have expected the Bears to do better than they did, but
yeah, 35 points only. Come on, Chicago.
Yeah. We haven't even broken 20.
I wanted 36.
Yeah, yes. Commanders hanging on against the Ravens. They
played a good
battle.
game, but the better team did win.
Definitely.
This was a full weekend. I felt like whoever had the better quarterback, meaning like before the game, if you were to just pick based off the quarterback you thought would win, you would have made a lot of money this week.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Like if I'm going
You're
down
right.
this list pre-game, I would have been like, yeah, that team.
Stroud. Yep.
I don't see any like
Baker.
Eagles, Browns. Like I would have gone with Hurts.
At the same time,
Colts, Titans, I'm going with Flacco. Chargers, Broncos, I'm going with Herbert. You know what I mean? Like I'm going simply not just score. If I were to guess based off the quarterback, line up pretty well.
That's true. I mean, tomorrow we're going up against the Bengals. What are you expecting?
Well, going off what I just said, I'd be going with the Bengals. Like
That's
just based on my argument. If I'm going based off who I think it has the better quarterback, strictly that, going the Bengals. That being said, Browns by 20.
I mean, we have
Which
their
we haven't
number.
scored 20.
Right. We have their number. Lions put on a show. So did the Buccaneers. I keep downplaying the Texans like they're just a strong, moderate team. No, they're a top competitor, as all those
The
power
Texans,
rankings
I
show.
just don't think are gonna have that like playoff experience because that's the one thing that the Chiefs have above everyone else. They have that been there, done that in the playoffs in the postseason.
That's true.
I think Houston's just a young team in that regard, but I definitely see them going into January and being a competitive team.
I agree. All right, so let's get into our predictions for week 7. And then we could close it out here with our parlay pick of the week. You should join in because that's where all the fun's at. So just this past Thursday, Broncos showed once again that they're a team we can't ignore.
That was such a weird, like...
Yeah, Saints barely even showed up.
It was like Drew Brees' like retirement party day. And like they were like, yeah,
deflated day.
We're gonna take a
deflated game.
Dump on you.
I really the game this week is starting off with like the saddest competition.
I actually saw Drake May. Someone asked him, a reporter, like, why do you think England fans should root for New England? He's just like, I don't know. It's kind of in the name, New England.
That is pretty funny.
I was like, oh, we love a dumb quarterback.
But yeah, and that's a game of two dumb teams.
Right, I'm writing my picks down because I want to come back and look because I'm going based on I'm all the way down the list. I'm strictly going off my quarterback guessing. Like I'm going based on who I think has a better quarterback.
And you don't like long hair?
Drake May, week 1,
game 1.
I'm staying consistent with that. If until Surfer Boy cuts his hair, they will struggle, they will suffer, and it will be painful. Instant he cuts his hair, 4-touchdown performance. I guarantee it.
I could agree. I'm looking at the
actually
the
do your picks, and then we'll talk about them.
Well, yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Patriots because I really do think, in the grand scheme of the power rankings, the Jags are the worst. Falcons and Seahawks, I've kind of hyped up the Seahawks a little bit more than they deserve, and that's what's shown. The Falcons are a dominant team. If they lose, they beat themselves. What are your thoughts on that, right?
Which game?
I'm talking about Seahawks, Falcons.
I'm going to go, based on my thing, I'm going off Cousins. I'm going with Kirk Cousins. I think they have the better quarterback. I think, though, that Seattle is probably more competent team with Pete Carroll and them. That could be a pretty good game, though. I do like that matchup.
Sure. I really do think, though, the Falcons are the stronger team.
Falcons are good. Falcons are pretty good, but Seattle's good. I mean, what's Seattle's record?
But you're in Atlanta, too. I mean,
Seattle's what, 3-3?
Yep.
They've had 2 rough weeks in a row. I think Seattle could be on a bounce back week. But I'm going to go with Atlanta.
That's true. The Bills are obviously the stronger team.
They should definitely win.
Crush the Titans.
That would be a disappointing loss by the Bills if they lose.
I think Nick Chubb is going to carry us to the finish line. That's just an element we haven't had, and I just believe in magic. But I'm a delusional human that has lost a lot of money betting on a team that will never get there. So.
Well, you're 31, and we're still talking about them. Our kids will bear this curse. So that's why I'm going with Cincinnati. Yeah. I think Cincinnati will win that game, unfortunately. I'm going with Joe Burr as the better quarterback.
Texans, Packers. This is a tough
tough one. I didn't even know they were playing this week. Just going down. I love that matchup. That is a cool football matchup right there. I'm going with CJ Stroud Texans.
Me too. I'm picking the Texans. I think
he's a better quarterback slightly. Jordan Love balling.
The big takeaway, though, is this is in Green Bay, so this isn't an easy one to take. And the Packers are top 10 team we're looking at, so got to be careful. Now, I'm hoping I'm going to see in this next game, I want to see some Flacco fever. Just
if Flacco's starting, Flacco
Miami.
for sure. Flacco for sure. Actually, I'm going against Miami regardless.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Miami is dog water without Tua. They need the ring radio back now.
Facts.
All right.
Vikings.
Lions. I'm going Lions. I think this is
I would like to see the Lions.
I think this is Minnesota's first loss.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. 5-0 impressive start. You're not finally facing a really good team, but you're facing a really good team, and they're hot too.
Exactly.
Detroit's been really on it. Vikings coming off a bye though, so they did have a good rest. So, they've had a lot of time to set up a game plan.
Now, the Eagles are the better team, but the Giants has shown that, you got to take it, you got to earn it. But I think the Eagles are definitely.
I'm going with the quarterback. Hurts.
The logic hasn't changed.
Nope. It's going to stay that way. That's why I'm going with LA. I'm going with Stafford and the Rams.
The Raiders have just been limping to the finish line.
That is a team so fragile right now. It almost seems like they're about to break at the seams.
Yes.
They haven't quite yet, but it seems like they could just dismantle.
Commanders are going to crush the Panthers.
Yeah, going with Washington.
Another very strong matchup will be the 49ers and the Chiefs. I hope
I'm going with the better quarterback, Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs are undefeated, Chiefs, rocking and rolling.
A lot of good games this weekend. Wow.
I'm hoping somebody can shake up that momentum of the Chiefs, and if somebody can, it's the 49ers.
Steelers, Jets.
Solid, moderate teams right here. That's a good evening game.
Going with the Jets. Better quarterback.
Love it. I'm never going with the Steelers, so going with the Jets.
If they were playing Fields, I might have. I don't think Fields is necessarily played great. They just got a momentum with him. I don't know how they're going to do break. Oh, we got two Monday night games.
I like these two Monday night footballs. You gave me shit last week, and I told you I like when they do this. You're like, they do this, and it's fun. The Cardinals, we've been laughing at their expense, and truthfully, they're not a know-nothing team. They're better than us.
Cardinals are so hot or cold.
But the Chargers should win.
I am going to go with the Chargers.
But now let's go to the best game, I think, of the week. I'm most excited.
I don't know. There are a lot of good games, but I do love this game.
I'm very excited for this.
I think it's the number one offense in the NFC and the AFC going against each other.
100%.
And I'm going with the better quarterback, so I'm going with Baker.
Shocker.
Having a better year.
It's true.
And Lamar's having a great year too. I'm not shitting on either years.
But again, the Ravens have had the stronger running game, and if the math we're using is the passing game, the quarterback, it ain't the Ravens.
If I'm being honest, though, I'm going with Tampa Bay. I'm going off the quarterback thing. I do think Baltimore. This is Baltimore's game. I think Tampa Bay's I think Tampa Bay's defense is. No one's really stopped Henry rushing yet, and Lamar's Lamar. Lamar's Lamar. He can do anything.
If you're picking a team that's going to win based only on the quarterback, Buccaneers. But in a world where based on roster, where they're playing, faculties at their disposal, who do I think will win the game? I do think it'll be the Ravens.
Yeah.
It's their game to lose.
I am curious. Is this game being played at Tampa Bay Stadium after the hurricane and everything?
Well, they didn't get hit as their stadium didn't get destroyed. Tropicana got destroyed because its roof was destroyed.
Okay. Yeah.
So they can't play because the roof got destroyed. And so
I thought it was Tampa Bay.
It was mainly the roof is why the Rays got so destroyed, is the roof destroyed everything.
All right.
And it was like a material that
it's Teflon or whatever.
I think this game, the over looks so good.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'm looking at it like
bet
it's delicious.
On points.
Yes. Honestly, I'm betting heavy on points this game.
Well, and Lamar can run that. He can throw it Baker, but Baker doesn't have the running skills that Lamar has. Lamar, Lamar's
No
going
one
to be able
does.
to score some rushing touchdowns. Like, he can run the ball 50 yards more than Baker.
Baker's not Michael Vick, and that's a negative. And it's like, yeah, I wish I was Michael Vick. No, I agree. But that's the thing too. It's like Tampa Bay's defense is definitely, I would say, weaker than Baltimore's. I don't think they're that good at defending the run. And it's like you got Henry and Lamar, and I'm sure they have another guy who could run the ball pretty
deadly
well.
Combo right there.
Yeah, honestly, one of the best, I think, off-field acquisitions in recent years outside of McCaffrey was Derrick Henry going to Baltimore. I really think that was like, if I was Baltimore, I'd be like, oh, immediately all in. So no, I agree. There's like an aura coming from Tampa Bay this year. And it's like, I think they're really riding it.
Yes, they've got the
win or
culture,
lose, competitive
momentum.
game.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Good football coming in this week. We'll be excited to
Really,
check in with
a lot
it
of
next
good
week.
games, a lot of fun games.
But speaking of, preparing for your bets, what scores are going to hit and everything else, we'll suggest in going for the overs on whatnot. Let's review our parlay picks from last week and present what we're going with this week.
I like those odds, man. I like those odds. Doug, you're really riding the Purdy train hard this year, too. It's not bad. It's not bad, though.
He's been performing. I have him in fantasy. I have Mahomes and Purdy, and now I've been playing Purdy every week. Versus
like I said, they're underplaying the 49ers. I think they're a top 10 team.
Yeah, they really pushed hard against him and when all of his weapons went down, but he played well. He's played well. He's had a good year.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of goofy to me. But anyway, first, let's take a look at last week. Man, that Derrick Henry doesn't miss. This is a consistent hit. If you're looking for a leg on a parlay, this is one I would suggest. Doug, we played it safe. Will laughed at our expense. We wanted the win finally, so it kind of held back our parlay. Will went for 2 passes by Baker Mayfield, but the rethink tank.
I'm telling you, it was like the second or third drive. He threw his second one. I was like, fucking told you.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, but we didn't want to miss. And so now that we've got some momentum, we can start
New Orleans. New Orleans, people score on New Orleans. Just has Denver.
Well, plus I want to start now. We can start putting more into our bets, start building this bad boy. J.K. Dobbins, like I had suggested. I mean, that one was solid, easy.
Yeah, I felt so good. He was in the first quarter, he had 40 yards immediately. It took him to the fourth then to get above the 60. I was like, come on, man, just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Nice little cut here and there.
So this week, and we decided we needed to add a little spice to it. So starting next week, because we need to increase the incentive to make sure you hit. We're putting together our team parlay every week, and there needs to be some cost associated with being the loser that holds us back. So, starting next week, if your leg of the parlay doesn't hit, got to get on one knee here in the studio and chug a Smirnoff Ice. And that doesn't seem like total hell, but guess what? Live at 11:30 noon on a Sunday. Today, I'm going with old reliable, the one that never misses. I'm going with Derrick Henry again with 80 yards. Doug went with 2 passing touchdowns by Brock Purdy.
One.
No.
And it was minus 600.
It's getting spicier now. We're going to do one of these, and it's going to be a plus 1,400, and I'm going to be like, we're doing it.
Yeah, and then we're gonna just be giving money away.
We're gonna $5 on 4 passing touchdowns from these 4 people.
Yes, exactly.
If that hit, electric.
So Will's going with Baker Mayfield.
Or reliable. He and I are riding the old reliable train.
Well, again, you should do it as I'm doing Derrick Henry. I'm doing it until it misses.
Yeah,
or until they're on bye.
Or until they're on bye, but
I'm then I'm going the following week.
Going right back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go until they miss.
Right back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. I love it. I love this one. I fucking love this one. I think it's gonna hit.
I think so too. So
we got some production out of these guys. Some big
and now
producers.
we're rocking and rolling. Let's start building the pot.
You picked a dude on my fantasy team. I picked a dude on your fantasy team, and you went your fantasy team. We're all rooting for what we need to happen this week.
That's true. 1 in 5. I'm gonna get out of the rut. I promise, baby.
1 in 5, and Baker's my team.
Oh, what a place to be.
I should have accepted that trade. I would have buried your season. You'd have been 0-6. 0-6.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, woulda, woulda. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. We go live every Sunday, except for this Sunday, because we're going to be suffering in the factory of sadness. So be sure to be jumping in the comments and getting your perspective involved in the dialogue. We go live with a reaction show that's before this, also at 11 on Sundays. So if you're looking for that, and our live show on the Rethink Tank on Tuesdays, or the new podcast that comes out on Wednesdays, you can find it all in one central place, and that's on our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. So be sure to dive onto the website, and we'll get you involved. Otherwise, guys, we'll catch you next week. Peace.